Is something burning?
John, you burnt the motherfucking toast again. Damn!
My bad.
So we just have a quick message from our sponsor. TYCBD is a brand of chocolate bars that my family's chocolate company makes. So if you aren't familiar with CBD, it is the non-psychoactive part of the hemp plant. We use a pure CBD isolate, which means it contains 0.0% THC. We mix it with our pure chocolate. We have it in milk and dark. So they taste really good, but then the CBD can potentially help to help you sleep, relieve pain, anxiety, depression, and a lot more. I personally take it to help me fall asleep at night, as well as if I'm feeling anxious. So we're offering Toasted listeners a 15% discount. You do need to live in the Ohio area. However, you can either stop into our store or call in to find out more information. You can check out our Instagram and Facebook for the number and location, and don't forget to mention Toasted in order to get the discount.
Hey, y'all. Welcome back to Toasted. Pull up a chair and get comfy.
Before we get into this week's episode, I wanted to mention what we talked about last week. Last week we talked about short, scary stories, which were fucked up. And we also did Would You Rathers, which fucked me both.
Those were interesting, too.
Yeah, fuck that. I was sick of that bullshit. But it was probably the funniest podcast we did yet. So if you haven't listened to it yet, go back, listen to the one we talked about last week.
So then, in today's episode, we are going to be talking about friendships between guys and girls and whether or not they work. Spoiler alert, we personally think they do. So we're going to be talking about the dynamics of them, our friend group, and the fact that I am a girl in a group of guys.
I'm a guy.
And
I might be a guy.
Most of the time. I'm like half in between. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah,
and what it's like to have significant others deal with these friendships.
Yeah, so recently it was Courtney's birthday, and I'm sitting there and I'm like, I'm her best friend, but homie don't know how to use Instagram, so I can't make like a collage and shit. And I didn't want to make the collage because I look better than her in all the pictures, so I don't want to like post that shit and like put all these likes.
That's rude. That's necessarily true.
So, like, I didn't know what to do, but she's also the type of person that didn't give a shit. Like, she knows her friends are her friends. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm not really concerned necessarily with the whole, like, posting pictures of me on Instagram to say happy birthday. I'm more into the, like, going out and doing stuff as a group. And, like, you brought me an entire bag Frank brought me an entire bag full of snacks from the deli that he works at. And there was, like, hummus, my favorite pretzel crisps, like all this different stuff in there, all of my different favorite snacks, and it was so much better than a shout out on
Instagram.
That's for damn sure.
For damn sure.
For damn sure. Alright. So when it comes to friendships between guys and girls and guys,
penises and
penises, I feel like girls, like when girls are friends with each other, they like, are each other's cheerleaders, like they're always trying to be positive with each other. At least, I mean, when they're out in public in front of us. Who knows what they're doing when they're by themselves.
Yeah. Not me.
But, like, guys, we're more like spectators of the sport. Like, you know, if you're watching a play and someone fucks up, you're like screaming, fuck you, you're trash. Like, we're real upfront with each other, and we don't really hold anything back.
Right.
Well, and I feel like that's the difference, too, with what we were saying with, like, Instagram, because it's typically more females that will post, you know, the Instagram stories that are like, one picture says happy, the next one says birthday, the next one says whatever, and you have like all those different pictures, and that's how they express it, where guys are more, you know, are gonna send a text or like call each other or like post a stupid video of each other.
Congratulations, you're older.
Right.
Fuck off.
right, like let's go get wasted.
Let's have a drink.
Right, exactly. And like, I guess that's more like me, like I'd rather just hang out with my friends and yeah, I'm not concerned about the social media cheerleading portion of things.
That's why we like
it. But I feel like one of the issues with being friends with guys, at least for me personally, is that it makes some of my other relationships kind of difficult.
Yeah.
So, for example, it makes jealousy a really big factor in that, like, I've had, you know, guys that I've talked to be really skeptical of the fact that all my friends are guys. And then, like, one of my other best friends that's also a guy, his girlfriend at one point thought that, you know, he was cheating on her with me.
Right.
And it's like, no, we've just been best friends for years.
Right.
And, you know, we have a close relationship. And we would never go there, never do that, because Well, and it's especially the type of thing if any of you guys ever cheated on a girl or did something, I'd beat your ass. I'd be like, no, that's not how you treat women. So I was like, oh no, trust me, your boyfriend's not going to cheat with me because I would beat his ass for cheating.
And from that, if you look at it from that dynamic, it should really be the other person, the person that's accusing you of cheating, needs to, first of all, you should trust the person you're with. Second of all, instead of always thinking so negative about it, you should be more open to learning about that person. And, like, if you took 5 minutes to actually get to know you, you know you would never do that to someone, and then boom, problem solved. Right. But that's I get everybody gets jealous, and it's a natural thing. But if you have trust with the person you're with, and you take a chance to get to know the people that he surrounds himself with, and for me, I'm like-minded. I surround myself with people that are like-minded with me. So, if I'm friends with you, if I fuck with you, you know that. Right. You know what I mean? And so you have no issue trusting anybody in your friend group because...
It's definitely... I can see how it would be more difficult. Well, it's definitely more difficult for females because we tend to be more skeptical and slightly more jealous when it comes to things like that. So I've, understood that my guy friends will bring their new girls around and they'll kind of look at me and not really be sure, am I trying to get with them? And I understand, I get that, how another girl could look at me and go, is she going to try to get with my boyfriend when I'm not around? Like, what is the relationship like? And so I purposely go out of my way, though, in that case, to make sure they know, like, no, these guys have been my best friends forever. Like, all I want is what's best for them. And as long as they're happy, I'm happy.
Exactly. Say, for instance, it's me with another girl, I'm going to reassure I'm like, listen, she's not that type of person. You know what I mean? Right. Like, be very quiet over there.
I'm just a little bit toasted. Our listeners are too, so it's all good. So, I've dated a few girls, and I had to say, I think I've hit, like, all over the board. Some of them hate every girl that I'm friends with, every other girl I'm friends with. They're like, stop talking to her right now, I'm going to kill you in your sleep. Other ones, they're like, oh my god, your friends are awesome, I'm going to make them my friends. And I'm like, you're not going to steal my friends from me. I'm positive they're going to like you way more than they like me. We're not hanging out with them ever again.
So, bye. You're gone. You're trying to steal my friends. How?
There's a ton of different people. It's nice when you find people that click.
Right. Yeah. And it's the other thing, like, when it comes to people that click, three of us are people that, it doesn't matter if you're a guy or a girl, if you have a dick, a vagina, or both. If you have a chill vibe, we're cool with you.
How did you know I have both?
Listeners, you know.
Well, and see, for me, that's why I find that I vibe with you guys much better because I don't like drama, and I also don't really like gossiping. So, and I found with a lot of girlfriends that I had, and I'm not saying this is all girls, I'm just saying that this is the ones that I might just be bad at picking girlfriends. I think that's what it is. Yeah. And I do have some. There are some great ones out there. If you're listening, shout out to you. But the ones that I've become like best friends with haven't really worked out because I've just realized we don't have the same things in common. I'm a type that I do want to be a cheerleader in the sense that I want to hype each other up. I want to promote each other. We're working on this project. We all have the same mindset that we want to do something really cool and accomplish things and work hard. And that's the people I want to surround myself with. Right. And I found that the girls I was friends with were more about, either going out and drinking or we would go out and, it might just be a casual going out. But they would stand there and gossip about the other girls that were there. I remember.
But you even said, we talked about before, how you've had friendships with girls and they treat it more of a competition than a friendship. Like, you want to be their cheerleader, you want to support them and be a positive person in their life, but all they're seeing with you is competition, and if you're not in the same mindset, how are you going to ever become close and have that trust and grow as a friend?
I get that, because I feel like I'm the type of person that's definitely not a competition.
Right, no, not at all.
Who gives a fuck?
Like, I had to...
I'm going to do me. Whatever that is 100% okay.
Right. And that's it. Like, I had a friend that we would go out and we got into a fight because she said that, when we would go out together and guys would come up to flirt with us, she would be under the impression they were only coming over to talk to me. And it was like, no, like, why would that be the case? Like, we're going out. If we're both having a good vibe, if we're both having fun, if we're both promoting good energy, that's why that's why they came over to us. And, like, I also had another situation where one of my friends wanted to start a blog. I was like, yes, do it. Like, I've had a blog for a couple years now. Like, I can help you. I can show you things.
Right.
Like, let's do this. Like, I would love to, we could bounce ideas off each other.
Right.
And
grow together with it.
Right. And she saw it more as, you know, a competition and never really wanted to talk about it.
Right.
And never ended up going for it. Where, you know, the reason I click with you guys is because when we said that we wanted to start a podcast, well, you guys said you came up with the idea in the hot tub to start a podcast, brought it to me, and I was like, let's fucking do it.
Hot tub and while toasted.
And here we are.
Promotes ideas.
Yes. And now here we are,
right,
months later, with, what, 7th, 8th episode of our podcast, something like that?
Let's see. I'm gonna go to more like 6.
6, all right.
But
Yeah.
you were close.
Yeah.
7 and 8 were the next number after
Right.
6.
Good job.
You can do math.
But it's just being around people that don't get, like, I wake up every day and I value that I can wake up every day and just be happy.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I wake up, I go to work, I'm happy. I see the customers, I'm happy. You know what I mean? I don't
You're
let
content with where you're at.
Right.
What
I
you're
mean,
doing.
everybody sees the world different, and I get that. But for me, it's easy because it's like, I'm here, I'm doing what I can, I'm trying to enjoy life while I'm here.
Yeah.
And, you know what I mean? I'm not going to sit here and let things bother me and bring me down all day.
Well, and that's just part of growing, and I think that's when you hit that mindset, like, it's a mindset that I would say is definitely, it should be a goal, that when you get to a point where you can be happy and take negative things and say, okay, like, yeah, this thing sucks right now, but I can make it, you know, I can look at the positives, I can turn it around, I can use it as a lesson to grow. And so then when you get older, you learn to surround yourself with like-minded people.
Right.
So I don't even think it necessarily has to do with the fact that we're guys and girls in a friendship. It's more of just that we vibe better and we get along better. And that's, I don't think it necessarily matters whether or not it's guys or girls.
No,
but because I think it like comes down to jealousy. If people get jealous and they don't know how to handle the dynamics of it.
Yeah. Like, honestly, I wake up every day, I go to work, and I look forward to a conversation I'm going to have today that could change my life that you never know is going to happen.
Right.
And it's like, that's how I see the world. Like, be eager, attack it, and try to gain as much information as you can in one day. Be happy while you do it, because really, if you are sleeping and eating and have clothes and you can take a shower every day, fuck you. That's all you need.
Right.
To be able to enjoy this life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, there's outside factors to everything.
You also need friends.
You do need friends. And that's why we're here. You're listening to us. You come listen every week. We're here for you. You can message us on Instagram. I get back to you. I do.
Actually, I respond to the Instagram.
If you ask for Frank,
That's
I'll
true.
get to you. Okay?
Go for it. Ask for Frank, please.
I'm just
I will
saying.
pass the message
Request
along.
Frank.
If you want a friend and need someone to talk to, request Frank, and I'll get to you. That's all I'm saying.
I will find you.
I'm not trying to be creepy. How? I'm just saying. Like, I wish everybody could have that outlook on life.
No, I agree.
And then we wouldn't even have to have this episode be a podcast, because who cares if you're friends with guys and girls? You're all just friends. Mm-hmm. We're all people on this earth trying to figure out what the fuck we're doing here.
Right.
Let's enjoy our time.
But it does tell you, I guess, a bit about a person, and that was what I found interesting about dating and meeting new people, because for me, when I meet somebody new, one of the first conversations that I have to have is, you know, I just need you to understand that the vast majority of my friends are all male, because when you get to know someone, you talk about your friends, and so when I'm constantly sitting there saying, you know, my best friend, he did this, him, he, whatever, and giving all these guys names, you know, guys typically want some sort of explanation, you know, like, you've got a lot of guy friends. Yeah. And so I do have to explain a little bit, but it also tells me a bit then about the guy, because I've had guys respond. I had a guy respond once and flat out say, oh, well, that's not going to fly. And I was like, okay, goodbye, see you later. And then I've had other guys be like, okay, no, I totally get that. And then it, like, helps them get to know me, because they understand, like, I'm not friends with a ton of females because I don't get along. These things don't fit my personality.
Right.
So, definitely a good learning experience portion for me.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I don't know. When I'm talking to people, I don't feel like I have to say anything, because it doesn't bother me. I'm friends with everybody. Mm-hmm. Very easily. I'm friendly. I don't know.
Friendly giant.
I have a friendly face. I think that's why everyone likes me.
That's true.
So, we're getting on to the fun topic of this week's episode.
Fun topic.
Munchies.
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 So, let's see. Alright, I think we should talk about the weirdest thing that we've ever concocted when we were toasted.
Oh.
And I think that mine, maybe it's not super weird, but it was kind of crazy that we went to the extreme. Me and X Games deep fried like 200 coconut shrimp that we dug out of my freezer.
Yeah, I definitely know.
And the only way we could deep fry them or whatever was like 4 at a time.
Right.
So we pulled up chairs to the stove and cooked these things 4 at a time. We ate all 200 of them.
Gee.
I feel
We
like
were there for so long.
it's important to mention that X Games needs to be on the show soon because we always cook shit when he's here. Like,
That's true.
I remember one time me and X Games went to Giant Eagle and he's like, alright, just grab random ass shit. We'll make it like fucking stir fry. And we were like, I don't even know what we had. We had potato skins in it. We had chicken. We had steak. We had mac and cheese bite. Like, we just grabbed a random bunch of shit. We came to John's house, started cooking, mixed it all together, and ate it, and it was absolutely delicious. And I don't know what the fuck it was.
They made that random food jambalaya.
Yeah, it was like...
That's really interesting.
We got everything we could, made it into a stir fry, ate the fuck out of it.
See, I was gonna say my weirdest concoction while high was we were at Jay Shee's and
Wait, what is it?
Jay Shee's, baby.
Everybody else was in the other room playing Pong or something like that, and I was in the kitchen. And I wanted to try to make caramelized bananas. And so
I remember this.
I sliced up a banana and threw it in a pan and just kept adding sugar and more, because I was like, well, I want them to caramelize. And so I just kept trying to add more sugar because I thought if they're not caramelized, then that means I just need to add more sugar, right?
Yeah,
not
how that worked out.
So, next Munchies question. What's the most you've ever eaten while you were high? John.
Oh, I was working at this bar.
Yeah.
And they had a 10-cent wing night. By the end of my shift, I was so messed up. I'm like, is the kitchen still open? They're like, yeah. I'm like, alright, give me like 200 wings. They're like, really? I'm like, yeah, I mean, I'm going to take some of them home. I'm not going to eat 200 wings sitting there. We just sat there and like they were doing the drawer and stuff. I'm just sitting there talking to the bartender. And by the time we were closed up, I think I only had like 20 wings left.
That's ridiculous.
And I'm like, wow, this is bad.
You're a grown ass man.
I'm like, I just need a smaller to-go box. So I put it in like this little box and then we left. I was thinking about it. That was a lot of wings.
Like, I can only imagine how massive your poop was the next day. like, fuck that. Like,
why is that where your brain
Because it's
Frank.
180 fucking wings, bro.
Yeah,
chicken wings, there's a little
chicken wing.
I don't remember exactly what I ate the time that I had the most I've ever had, but I believe it was Charlie and I went to a gas station and got food. And I remember I had oatmeal cream pies, for sure. Those were one of my favorite. Those were delicious. I don't remember what else I got. I know I got at least 2 other, or maybe it was because maybe Charlie finished my oatmeal cream pies. Maybe that's what it was. I know he was involved in that story somehow. But I just know that I ate to the point that I threw up everywhere because I ate so much food. Like, I'm sure I ate some sort of chocolate something, some sort of candy something.
A lot of sweets.
Oatmeal cream pie. Oh, yeah. And this was, if you listen to one of the first episodes where we mentioned our first worst times, this is the time that I had, well, I think I briefly mentioned I smoked 3 blunts, had 2 dabs, and ate 2 edibles. It was really bad.
Yeah.
But, then I ate a shitload of food and threw up.
Yeah. Our first episode is when we did our first time, worst time. Mm-hmm. And my first time is when I ate the most, and that's when I went to breakfast that morning, ate a whole loaf of bread worth of French toast, and I could have ate more, but I had to get to work, so, yeah, it was delicious. Alright, now let's go. Best edible you've ever had.
Okay, I love my story, so I'll go on this one. Okay, so best edible I ever had, it was a gift that was given to me when I first moved into my dorm room on my first day of college. And so I don't remember, I think I just, like, didn't want my new roommate to see, because we didn't know each other, we did, like, random roommate, whatever.
Yeah.
So I threw it on my mattress. Now, mind you, this was a chocolate-covered caramel, and this is summertime, and we had no air conditioning in our dorm. So it melted a bit. So that night, my friends and I went to the Luke Bryan concert, and I drove. And so they were drinking, and I didn't want to drink because obviously I drove. So I was like, it's alright, I'll just eat my edible. I won't be driving again for like another 6 or 7 hours.
Right.
We'll be fine. So we walk to the concert, and the concert starts. I remember that. I remember getting high. And all of a sudden, Luke Bryan starts singing Country Girl. And I turned to my friend and I was like, I'm so confused. Isn't this normally his encore? He normally finishes the concert with Country Girl. And she turns to me, she goes, Courtney, the concert's over. I blacked out the entire concert. I was so high. And then all of a sudden, he started singing Country Girl, and I snapped out of it. And that's it. I wasn't high anymore. And I was perfectly fine. And it was the weirdest thing ever, but it was nuts.
Yeah. I would say the best edible, I don't know best edible, the best time I had was when we a bunch of us went to a Kenny Chesney concert, and it was at the Q, and it was me and Jay Shee. I kind of mentioned this in an earlier podcast, but it's me and Jay Shee, and we split one. I'm like, we'll be alright. Like, we're driving down to the Q. We get down to the Q. I was high halfway there. And I look in the mirror, and Jay Shee's in the back, and I look at him and makes eye contact, and he mouths, are you high? And I go, yeah! And we just both start dying laughing, right? And then my sister's driving, and so we get to there, and we get into the parking garage. She always gives me shit, 'cause we have season tickets to the Indians. And I always give her shit. I'm like, why don't you just back in? Why don't you just back in? She goes, so, of course, this day she goes, well, you give me shit for backing in, so why don't you back in? Mind you, I'm a high as fuck, and I'm in a fucking parking garage, and to make it even better, it's like one of the church parking garages, so I'm like, Jesus is gonna burn me and shit. So I'm high, and I had to walk across. I didn't want to go in front of the car because she didn't know I was high. And as I get out and I go around the back, I almost stumble and fall. I'm like, the car was there to save me. But she had a backup camera, and it made it way easier to park the car.
Oh, that's good. You got lucky.
She very soon, thereafter found out I was high because I told her. And it worked out because me and Jackson, our seats were all the way at the top. And if we wanted to, like, get down, we were going to fall down. So it wasn't an option. And she went and got us chicken tenders. They were the best chicken tenders I've ever had in my life. And Jake Owen opened for Kenny Chesney, and he rapped French Prince of Bel-Air in his opening, and it was awesome. And
that's sweet.
it was a good time.
Nice.
Jay Shee, baby. Jay Shee.
Best edible, probably some Fruity Pebble.
Oh,
Like Rice Krispies are good.
Fruity Pebbles.
But I am definitely a fan of Fruity Pebbles, so when you make those into a bar, it's pretty amazing.
I would have to agree.
They were so good.
Alright, what snacks have you snuck into the movie theater while high?
All kinds of stuff.
If you got a big enough purse, you can get anything. And one time my friend and I, we each had a burrito bowl from Chipotle that we put in the purse. It worked.
A large pizza.
Ooh,
How the fuck
how'd
do
you
a
get that
large
in?
pizza?
We set it outside the emergency exit door, and then we went to the door, opened it, grabbed it, but the doors are like in the back of the hallway of the theater.
Mm.
So there's like no employees or anything there. So you just open the door real quick, grab the pizza, went in and sat down. Alright. You're good.
Not bad, not bad.
I stuck in 2 apples. I cut up in a whole jar of almond butter.
You badass.
I was trying to eat healthy.
Sliced apples and
It's like
almond butter.
I could eat that. Like, it was perfect for where I was eating at, what I was eating at the time. It was like, sliced the apples beforehand. I made a mess, but I brought napkins, so it's okay.
I'm glad.
I just put it in the hoodie pocket.
We got Frank over here packing his own picnic.
I freaking walking, and I'm like, I hope people don't hear the apples smashing.
I think they'd hear the bag more than hear the apples smashing together.
That's probably true.
I mean, I've heard apples smash together. It's not Like it's
It's
that
not
big
that
of a
loud.
noise.
Fuck off!
Oh man. Alright, we want to thank you guys so much for listening. We hope you guys enjoyed this episode. We want to know where you guys are listening, how you're listening, so take a screenshot of how you're listening or a picture of where you listen if you're walking your dog. Maybe not, don't take a picture if you're driving, but maybe like when you stop or something like that, and share with us on social media so that
That's
we
what
can
stop
share.
signs are for, guys. Take himself.
We don't condone texting and Snapchatting or driving or any of those things, but share it with us so that we can share it on our social media where you guys are listening from.
And please, comment on our shit. We want to be interactive with you guys. We want to hear from you. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter in order every time for John.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
With the little T.
Little T.
I like
And
little
really,
T.
be interactive with us. We want to hear from you.
I like little T.
Oh my god. Bye.
Hey guys, thanks for listening. Follow us on Spotify and Google Play.